Good morning everyone. Here we will to explain about time and space pattern and contents are time, promptness, divisions of time, future time, architectural differences, and the last privacy and the use of space. Okay, the first point is time. When travelers lack an awareness of how time is regulated in a foreign country, they can accept to feel somewhat disoriented. Since most people like time for granted, the effects of followers, customs, and social etiquettes on the use of time are seldom examined. A culture that efficients business people from these cultures may feel frustrated in a country where work processed at a slow pace. In religious societies, customs, specific times of the day, week, or year are prayer for prayer and religious celebrations. If an individual tries to make an appointment during a sacred holiday, he or she could unknowingly offend a religious person. Social etiquette determines appropriate times or visits, meetings, and even phone calls. Arriving 2 hours late for an appointment may be acceptable in one culture, whereas in another, keeping someone waiting 15 minutes may be considered rude. Okay, the second point is promptness. Promptness is important in American business, academic, and social settings. People who keep appointments are considered dependable. If people are late to job interviews, appointments, or classes, they are often viewed as unreliable and irresponsible. In the business world, time is money, and companies may find their executives for attendance to business meetings. Of course, it is not always possible to be punctual. Calling on the telephone if one is going to be more than a few minutes late for scheduled appointments is considered polite and is often accepted. Keeping a date or a friend waiting beyond 10 to 20 minutes is considered rude. On the other hand, arriving 30 minutes late to some parties is acceptable. Respecting deadlines is also important in academic and professional circles. It is accepted that deadlines for class assessment or business reports will be met. Students who hand in assessments late may be surprised to find the professor will lower their grades or even refuse to grade their work. Whether it is a question of arriving on time or of meeting a deadline, people are culturally conditioned uh, to regular time. Okay, the third point is divisions of time. Time is legible. One can cheat time, spend time, waste time, save time, or even kill time. Common questions in American English reveal this concrete quality as tough time were a position. Do you have any time? Can you get some time for this? How much free time do you have? The treatment of time as positions influences the way time is carefully divided. Generally, Americans are taught to do one thing at a time and may be uncomfortable when an activity is interrupted. In business, the careful scheduling of time and the separation of activities are common practice. Appointment calendars are printed with 15 until 13 and 16-minute time slots. Interview may end in time for a brief break before 3:15 until 14 meetings. The idea that there is time and place for everything extends to American social life. Visitors would drop by without barrier, notice may interrupt their host's partial time. This calling friends on the telephone before visiting them is generally prohibited to visitors driving by. To accommodate other people's schedules, Americans make business plans and social engagements several days or weeks in advance.
Okay, the next is future time. Cultures tend to favor either a past, present, or future orientation with regard to time. A future orientation encompassing a preference for change is characteristic of American culture. The society encourages people to look the future rather than to the past. Technological, social, and artistic trends change rapidly and affect people's lifestyles and their relationships. Those who try to uphold traditional patterns of living or thought may be seen as rigid or old-fashioned. In a society where change is so rapid, it's not uncommon for every generation to experience a generation gap. Sometimes parents struggle too much to understand the values of their children. Some Americans believe that the benefits of the future orientation are achievement and progress will enable them to have a high standard of living. Architectural differences. When we travel abroad, we are immediately impressed by many ways buildings, homes, and cities are designed. The division and organization of space lend character and uniqueness to villages, towns, and cities. The separation of space inside homes may also vary from culture to culture. For example, in most American homes, the layout of rooms reveals the separateness and labeling of space according to function: bedroom, living room, dining room, playroom, and so on. In Japan, homes with sliding walls can change a large room into two small rooms, so that a living room can also serve as a bedroom. Next is privacy and the use of space. Architectural design influences how privacy is achieved as well as how social contact is made in public places. The concept of privacy is not unique to a particular culture, but what is meant is culturally determined. For example, according to Donald Nee, author of Living Japan, there is no Japanese word for privacy, yet one cannot say that the concept of privacy doesn't exist among Japanese, but only that it is very different from the Western conception. Similarly, there is no word in Russian language that means exactly privacy. Because Americans are very valuing privacy, young American children learn the rule knock before you enter, which teaches because Americans are very valuing privacy, them to respect other privacy. Parents too often follow the rules prior to entering their children's rooms. When a bedroom door is closed, it may be a sign to others saying, "I need privacy, I'm angry, do not disturb," or "I'm busy." For Americans, the physical division of space and the use of architectural features permit a sense of privacy.
Well, that's all our presentation today. Sorry for some mistakes. So, if you guys have some questions, feel free to speak out. Thank you for all your nice attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.